Welcome to the courtroom, where a simple traffic stop turns into an intense legal showdown. In today's case, we're about to witness a civil infraction that quickly spirals into a heated debate about fog lights, state law, and what's really considered blue lighting. Tensions rise as Mr. Walker denies any wrongdoing, but Officer Rainwater has a different story. Stay tuned, because the judge's ruling is bound to shock you.
Well, I find that the officer's testimony is credible about that.
Y'all just bleed them over what somebody else say. You want to see the damn lights or what?
Good afternoon. At this point, the court will call case 26B016646. It's entitled The People of the City of Battle Creek versus Jamar Lee Walker. Is that your name, sir?
Yes.
And you're appearing here in Zoom. We just had technical issues with the camera, but I am firmly convinced that no one is impersonating you, so we'll go ahead with the hearing. Also present is Officer Rainwater from the Battle Creek Police Department. We're scheduled for an informal hearing this afternoon on a civil infraction citation. That citation alleges that back on February 8th of 2026, that Mr. Walker was over on West Michigan Avenue near North Washington Avenue in the city of Battle Creek, and you were given a citation for improper use of lights or driving with unauthorized lights. This is a civil infraction. If you were found responsible, all other things being equal, the court would fine you $110 total fines, costs, and fees, and it is a 0-point ticket. So is that the citation that you thought you were here about, Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Same question to you, Officer Rainwater?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Walker, whenever somebody gets a citation, they have three possible responses to it. The first possible response is just admit responsibility, be assessed the fines and costs, and be done with it. The second possible response is to admit responsibility with an explanation, hoping that the explanation might cause the courts to decrease the fines and costs a little bit. The third option, which is the option I think you've exercised, is to deny responsibility and have your hearing. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right, here's how the hearing works. Just like any other civil case, there's a plaintiff and a defendant. In this case, the city of Battle Creek is the plaintiff. They're represented by Officer Rainwater. Mr. Walker, you're the defendant because you're the person that was handed the citation. Just like all other civil cases, the plaintiff has the burden of proof. And in cases like this, that burden of proof is called by a preponderance of evidence, or more plainly, what that means is Officer Rainwater has the burden to show that it's more likely than not that you committed this particular civil infraction. So the way we do things is I'll put you both under oath at the same time, and then Officer Rainwater, who has the burden of proof, will present his case first. The presentation is informal, meaning that the rules of evidence don't apply, and there isn't an attorney objecting all the time to hearsay or something like that. Basically, there's only one rule, and that is that the court can only consider relevant evidence. After Officer Rainwater presents his case, Mr. Walker, you get to present your case. Same rules apply to you. You can introduce whatever you want into evidence as long as it's relevant. After both sides have presented their cases, I'll render a decision. That decision can be appealed by either side within 7 days.
Here's where things take a turn. Officer Rainwater's testimony lays the foundation of the case. He pulled over Mr. Walker for allegedly using blue fog lights, which, in Michigan, are illegal unless you're an emergency vehicle. This could be a simple mistake or a clear violation. But the defendant argues his lights aren't blue, they're cool white. Does the color really make a difference? Or is this just a classic case of semantics?
Mr. Walker, if you were to appeal the decision, you'd have to put up any fines, costs, and fees as a bond pending appeal. Do you have any questions about how we're going to do things today, Mr. Walker?
No.
All right, if you could both raise your right hands. Mr. Walker, I'll take your word for it. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Officer Rainwater?
I do.
And Mr. Walker?
Yeah.
Very good. Officer, if you would begin, please.
Yes. While working as an officer for the city of Battle Creek in a fully marked patrol vehicle in uniform, I was patrolling the area of West Michigan Ave near Southwest Capitol Ave when I observed Mr. Walker driving his 2009 GMC, black in color. He was westbound on West Michigan Ave, passing through the intersection. I observed the vehicle to have blue-colored fog lights on at the time that we crossed paths as I was heading eastbound. I flipped my patrol vehicle around and activated my overhead emergency lights, pulling him over near the intersection of West Michigan Ave and North Washington Ave. I made contact with Mr. Walker at his window and advised him the reason I was stopping him was for his blue fog lights. His response was he had had these for a long time, and did not dispute their color. I then issued him the civil infractions ticket, and that was the end of the interaction.
All right. Anything else you want me to consider at this point in time, Officer Rainwater?
No.
Mr. Walker, could you hear Officer Rainwater's testimony?
Yes.
All right. Thank you for your patience, Mr. Walker. What do I need to know?
Well, first of all, them is not blue, they're cool white. They have been on that vehicle since
Mr. Walker isn't backing down. He claims the lights have been on his vehicle for 10 years without any issues. But the question remains, why didn't he make this clear when he was stopped? A missed opportunity to defend himself? Or was the officer's attitude the real issue here? When in a hot seat, it's not just about the facts, it's about how you communicate them. Did Mr. Walker miss his chance to explain himself properly?
I have never had any problem with any officer in the state of Michigan for my fog lights at all. I travel all over the state. And just prior to him pulling me over, I just passed by 3 other Battle Creek police officers. So I'm just confused as to why I even got this ticket, because they have been on there at least for 10 years, ever since I had the truck. I never put them on, nothing. That's how I got the truck.
The officer testified as to why he got the ticket, because he saw blue fog lights that were on.
But it's okay for you to have for blue halos to be on cars, because I work at GM and we have them. We put them in vehicles right now. I mean, they got the blue little halos around them, so I don't see what the problem is. I'm not flashing them or nothing. They're just on. They're not blue. They're cool white.
Okay, and how did you figure out that they were not blue but cool white?
Because that's what they are, cool white. They've been on there the last 10 years.
I guess when the officer pulled you over, did you tell him, hey, these aren't blue, they're cool white?
No, hell, he came up to me with an attitude, talking about roll down your back window. I'm like, why? I ain't did nothing wrong.
All right, so regardless of that doesn't answer my question. The question was, did you tell the officer, hey, they're not blue, they're cool white?
He wouldn't give me a chance. He just came up there with attitude.
Well, all right. Did his attitude contain a question about your fog lights?
They're not blue.
Okay, you don't have to answer that question. Where did you get the phrase cool white from?
That's what they sell on the internet.
Okay, all right. Which aren't yours because you didn't buy yours, right?
I didn't even buy them, but they're cool white.
All right, very good. Anything else you want me to consider, Mr. Walker?
No.
Okay, Officer Rainwater, were you able to hear Mr. Walker's testimony?
Yes.
Okay, do you have a particular memory of asking him about the fog lights or something? Or I guess, can you elaborate on your testimony earlier that said he didn't dispute that they were blue?
Yes, I approached his window. I advised him he was being pulled over for his blue fog lights that were only to be used on emergency vehicles. He did not dispute the color that they were blue. He just said, I've had them for the entirety I've had this vehicle.
I'm not gonna get into no confrontation with no police officer. I just
that's a good idea. I'm happy to hear that. All right. Anything further, Officer Rainwater?
No, Your Honor.
Anything further, Mr. Walker?
No, like I said, I'm not finna get into no back and forth about something that's been on there that I have no control over. I'm not trying to go to jail or nothing. I got too much going on right now.
Well, good. This is a civil infraction, so you wouldn't be going to jail even if you were found responsible. But is there anything else you want me to consider that's relevant to the hearing today?
Yeah, I didn't put him on.
Okay. All right. Well, I've listened carefully to the testimony. It's not disputed that Mr. Walker was operating a vehicle that was stopped by Officer Rainwater on February 8th of 2026. The traffic stop was around West Michigan and North Washington. I believe the testimony was the first time Officer Rainwater observed the vehicle that Mr. Walker was driving was over near Capitol Avenue and West Michigan, but the traffic stop didn't happen for a while. And the reason for the traffic stop was that Officer Rainwater observed blue light coming from.
Now, we get to the heart of the matter. Judge Simpson finds Mr. Walker responsible for the infraction, despite his passionate defense. The law is clear: no blue lights on public roads unless you're an emergency vehicle. The defendant's frustration is palpable, but the judge's decision stands firm. This case highlights the strict enforcement of traffic laws, even when emotions run high. It's a tough break for Mr. Walker, but it's a clear reminder: understanding the law can be just as important as following it.
From the fog lights from the vehicle that Mr. Walker was operating, the law in the state of Michigan is very clear. The only kind of light that can come out of the front of the vehicle is white or amber, and the only lights that can come out of the back of the vehicle are amber, red, and white.
Hey, don't you think
lights.
I know this? I've been driving as long as he's been living.
Okay, are you done now?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get my point across. Like,
But
y'all
that's why
just
I asked
harassing
you.
people for
That's
no
why I asked
reason.
you before. Was there anything further? And once I got a no answer, that
Yeah,
means there's
well,
nothing further.
I'm just frustrated about this because I didn't do nothing wrong. They've been
Okay.
on there. I didn't put them on there. I don't
Right,
even
so-
drive that truck like that.
What the law in the state of Michigan says, you can have whatever kind of lights you want on your car. You can't operate them on a public roadway with blue light illuminating from the fog lights or any other lights out of the front of the car. You can if you're an emergency vehicle, or there's another kind of statutory exception that would apply, but there isn't one that applies in this situation. I do find, based on the testimony, that the violation was committed. I mean, again, they'll sell you
They're
blue
not
lights.
blue.
They'll sell you.
What ain't y'all listening to? They're not blue.
Well, I find that the officer's testimony is credible about
Then
that.
y'all just bleed them over what somebody else say. You want to see the damn lights or what?
Here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm finding you responsible. I'm going
Why?
to type up an
Can I
order.
get off this damn phone?
I'm going to type up an order.
Can
Finding
I
you
get off this
responsible.
damn phone?
You'll
I'm
have
done.
to pay the
Can I get off?
$110.
Can I get off?
And
I don't know what
are
the
you going
fuck
to be
you're
able
saying.
to pay that
'Cause
by
y'all full of
April
shit.
30th?
Y'all full
I
of
have to-
shit. When I see your little punk ass, I'm finna beat your little punk ass too, you little racist motherfucker. You pulled me over for no goddamn reason when I was just behind 3 other motherfucking cops. Ain't never got pulled over before.
So the hearing is going to have to conclude, but my finding of responsibility will stand. The defendant, if he wishes to appeal the decision, would presumably have to do so with cleaner.
So what's the takeaway here? A seemingly small traffic stop has revealed the importance of understanding both the law and how we present ourselves in court. Mr. Walker might not have agreed with the decision, but the judge's ruling was based on a clear violation of the law. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.